Reacting to the game from Thursday night, um, Packers, Commanders. I was right. I was right about the outcome of this game. I was right that the Packers defense had enough personnel to match up against Jaden Daniels and that dynamic offense. I was looking at also the Packers offense and missing two of their starting offensive linemen. How were they going to be able to protect Jordan Love? I thought they did a really good job, despite the fact that they gave up 16 QB pressures. I believe Jordan Love only had one sack. It was only one sack towards Jordan Love, if I'm not mistaken, that I can remember. Let me see. Uh, don't quote me on that. It was how many sacks? Okay, it was two sacks. It was two sacks. Okay, they gave up two sacks, but again, we still prevailed at the end. The offense wasn't the greatest, just like with the Lions game, but we scored 27 points. It wasn't pretty, but it was good. Solid offensive performance. But let's get down to the details of things because there are some things that I want to talk about, some good, some not so really good, and so on. So first, I want to get to the good part, and that is the Packers defense continuing to blow all of us away. Just how well they are at defending the run, getting to the quarterback. I want to share my screen real quick to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about in terms of their ability to get to the quarterback. Um, so next gen stats. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll read it anyway. The Green Bay Packers were able to generate 21 QB pressures, which is a lot. And that's really good. That's really good against a Commanders team, against a playoff team from a year ago that went to the NFC Championship game. So then when you look at individually each player, we have Rashawn Gary with one sack. You have Devontae Wyatt with another sack. Devontae Wyatt, it seems like he's come to his own finally from that 2022 draft. I said this a week and a half ago on the previous podcast to watch out for Devontae Wyatt. It seems like he's living up to the bill, especially when you have Micah Parsons at the helm alongside him. He had 5 QB pressures. Rashawn Gary had 3 QB pressures. Micah Parsons had 8 QB pressures. And he only had, I think he had 44 snaps, which is crazy. And then we have Carl Brooks, who is, I believe he's our D tackle as well. I think he's starting in place of Kenny Clark that we traded. And Carl Brooks has been pretty decent for us, replacing Kenny Clark. And he's been able to get to the quarterback a little bit. Adrian Cooper got a half a sack. Carl Brooks got half a sack. Carl Brooks had 2 QB pressures. Adrian Cooper had 3 QB pressures. Our rookie from Texas, I believe it is, Baron Sorrell. I was very excited to see him on the field. He had a really good training camp that I heard, and also I think in preseason as well. So I'm glad that he's back and he's healthy. He also generated half a sack and he had 2 QB pressures. Um, so yeah, those are the defensive linemen that were able to generate some sort of QB pressure. And then also you had Lucas Van Ness. I believe he got one. He didn't really have a good showing. He did a good job of stopping the run, but in terms of getting to the quarterback, he didn't really do much of that. But it's okay because when you have Michael Parsons and when you have the just amount of different guys that you can go to generate pass rush, Lucas Van Ness doesn't have to be the star of the show, and that's why it's very important to have Michael Parsons in this scenario because you have a star and you can rely on your star, and the guy that you uh, drafted in the first round, you don't have to worry about him being the star of the show. You can just rely on the certified star player. So that that being said, let's go to the other stuff. Let's go to the other stuff. The offense. The offense. Here's my thing with the offense. So Jordan Love, just like with week 1, I thought he played good. He was pretty well. Here's my thing with Jordan Love. Jordan Love It's a very good quarterback. Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback. He is a very talented quarterback, one of the more talented QBs in the NFL. He can make all the throws that you need throughout the game. He was making absurd throws that not many QBs can make. That one throw that got called back, the Jaden Reed touchdown, that was an outstanding throw. I couldn't believe he made the throw. The throw to Malik Heath, that was absurd. Not many guys can make that throw. But here's my problem with Jordan Love. Jordan Love, I would say his biggest weakness as a quarterback and what's holding him back from being an MVP caliber player and a potential top five quarterback is his inconsistency on deep ball accuracy. If he develops in that area and he's more consistent in that area, we might be saying Jordan Love is the MVP. We might be saying Jordan Love is a top five QB. But the problem is that he's not consistent. Matthew Golden touchdown. There was two plays for Matthew Golden where he had his defender beat. Jordan Love underthrew it. There was another play where Jordan Love overthrew it. If he connects on both of those throws, the Packers are up maybe 40 points instead of 27. And the Commanders were still in the game at that point. It wouldn't even have been a game in the fourth quarter. The game would have been already over. So my thing with Jordan Love is that as good as he is, he can be better. He's played so far from week one to week two. I give him about a B plus. But I want Jordan Love to be an A, at least an A. And he has the potential to be an A. But because of his deep ball accuracy issues, he has not been able to get to that level to where Matthew Stafford was and still is to this point when he's healthy enough. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, even Justin Herbert right now. These are guys, and then let me not forget Joe Burrow. These are guys that play the position at an elite level, can make all the throws that are just incredibly accurate at what they do. Jordan Love, if he wants to get to that level, he has to be more consistent in hitting the layups. That those throws to Matthew Golden, that should have been a touchdown easily. Those were some easy throws that he should have been able to make routinely, but he still has trouble doing that. If he can correct that, then he's going to be an MVP caliber player. He's going to be in a discussion for a top five QB. I know for sure. But right now, it's just not the case. But this game, I give him a B. He was good. Again, he was good. I thought he wasn't as good as he was last week. I felt like last week, although he did have two throws where it could have resulted in turnovers, besides those two throws, there was a throw to Tucker Craft that he overthrew. But I felt like he was more accurate in week one than he was in week two. Like I mentioned with the Matthew Golden plays. So I give him a B this game, although he didn't make any turnover worthy plays that I know of that I noticed. I do think that there was more inaccuracy this past game than it was in week one. So with Jordan Love, I give him a B, which is still good. They won the game in convincing fashion. But I felt like this game, the Packers, as dominant as they were from start to finish, they had the game on lock for the most part. I felt like they should have like put the game out of hand even more. I feel like they left stuff on the field that they shouldn't have. It's mostly from the offense. Defense, they did their job. But offense specifically with the penalties, especially when that Sean Ryan, I think he held one of the DNs and they had to call back that touchdown. And Jaden Reed got hurt in that play too, which is unfortunate. He's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks. We'll see how LaFleur adjusts on that. But yeah, they just left so many plays on the field. They should have won by 4 touchdowns, honestly. They were that good. And as excited as I am as a Packer fan, I have to be also objective in my analysis of this team. And right now, if they want to win a Super Bowl, they got to be better. They got to be better. You can't continue to play B plus games and think that you can beat the elite teams in the NFL because the Ravens, Even the Bills, even the Chiefs. I'll even go to the NFC with. I'll even go back to the Lions, Eagles. You got to play an A game against these teams if you're going to beat them in the playoffs because these are smart football teams. These are talented football teams. The Packers right now, they played about a B plus game for each game, and they won. They beat two really good teams that made the postseason last year. The Lions won, I believe it was 15 or 14 games. They were the number one seed, and then the Commanders, they made it to the NFC Championship game. Congratulations. But it's a marathon, it's not a race. It's still a lot more football to be played. And I want the Packers by the end of this year to play A to A plus football. And you know what? I will say this on the bright side, the signs of a great team. You don't play your best football in September. You play your best football in December and January. And right now, if this is the Packers' worst version, I'll take it. I'll take it. It is only week one and week two. If this is their worst version and they can improve from this, then all the things that I'm saying right now, all the concerns go out the window. But again, I need them to improve mostly on offense, mostly from Jordan Love. It's really not even LaFleur. LaFleur, I was I'm completely shocked at how LaFleur has been able to what's the word I'm looking for? Progress this offense. Some of the tweaks that he's made from the off season to right now. Last year I felt like they were big play hunting a lot. It was just like run the ball and then big play hunting. Now this offense, they're relying on Tucker Craft even more. I believe Jordan Love in an interview, maybe it was with Kay Adams or somebody, where he was talking about utilizing Tucker Craft more. I thought it was, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like he was you know how these quarterbacks are, like they'll say one thing, but the coaches will do another. I felt like it was a grain of salt. Them comments I took it as a grain of salt, but Tucker Craft looks really good right now. Um, and Matt LaFleur has made it easier for Jordan Love to get the ball out of his hands quicker. He's not taking a whole bunch of like 5 to 7 step drops. He's not holding the ball too long. And Jordan Love has done a really good job of escaping a lot of pressure. So kudos to Jordan Love and kudos to Matt LaFleur. Um, but I do want them to utilize Matthew Golden a lot more. With Jaden Reed out for 6 to 8 weeks with that shoulder collarbone, I think it was, which is unfortunate because Jaden Reed was playing really good football for us. I think now is the time to really insert Matthew Golden into the offense. Put him in the slot a lot more. Um, they already have him playing outside, but move him around. Move him around. I saw they utilized him in motioning, which is good. Um, but I want them to move him around because he could do a lot of different things for you. So that's all I really need to see from Matt Lafleur. But for the most part, this game, Matt Lafleur he was putting on a clinic. He was putting on a master class. That play, that end around with Xavier Williams, I believe it was out of TCU that we drafted, who's more like a gadget guy for us that we haven't really had for the Packers. That was an amazing play. And then it was another play they did for him where um, Jordan Love, he wasn't under center. They had him on the side somewhere, pretending like they were going to pass in the ball back. And Xavier Williams was I think they did another end around. So kudos to Matt LaFleur for the play calling. That was one of the best games I've seen Matt LaFleur call as a head coach slash offensive coordinator because a lot of the plays were just there. They had the Commanders fooled from left to right the entire game. So kudos to Matt LaFleur. Kudos to Jordan Love for playing good football. And kudos to the defense for playing A plus defense. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the game. Packers are 2-0. They beat two really good teams a year ago. Now we have, I believe it's the Browns next, which is, the Browns, they're projected to not win a lot of games. So this is a team that not really good, but they're still very competitive and it's still beginning of the season. So I can't wait to see the next game the Packers play. Hopefully they can correct some of their mistakes and Jordan Love can have A+ game. But right now I'm happy. I'm satisfied, but I do want more. I do want more. So yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, hit the notification bell, and follow the socials. I'll see you guys on the next episode of the Courtside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.